Hey guys, Evander here, back with another video, and today I'm very excited to be reviewing more carbon fiber for all you carbon fiber lovers. This time from Tesery, one of my latest sponsors for my channel. Thanks Tesery for sending these over for review. As always, you can use a discount affiliate link for me. This time it's just REDNAVE. That'll save you 5% off anything on Tesery's website. Link in the description below. But yeah, today I'm going to be installing 3 carbon fiber accessories from Tesery. First off, we've got call it the warning light. That's this big one here. So this is going to go up where the rear view mirror is. It's going to cover that area. I've got it in glossy. It also comes in matte. This one, they call it the reading light trim cover. This goes where your little hazard light is. There's also those hidden controls, so there's nice cutouts for the parking, drive, reverse, neutral. And lastly, this one is not made of actual carbon fiber, it's made of ABS, but this will go over the windshield wiper fluid cap. I thought that was kind of fun and neat, so no need to have this one made in expensive carbon fiber, but kind of fun to have it, have a little carbon fiber feel to it. So very easy, they're all peel and stick. You just need a couple things if you're going to do this warning light cover. So let's just jump right into it. And as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow if you want more good stuff coming soon. All right, let's get started with the ABS windshield wiper fluid cap cover. Here is the ABS cap cover. Very simple. It just matches up with the existing one. There's a tiny little cutout since there's this little attachment, kind of a ribbon of plastic here. I already wiped this down when I replaced my fluid just the other day. So I am going to use one of these little adhesive promoters. So that's why I'm wearing a glove. I always recommend wearing a glove when using this kind of stuff. It can be pretty smelly. It's probably not the best thing to get on your skin. It's only going to take a second, so just throw a glove on. And there's 3 little attachment points. So just going to give that a quick little rub since this area often probably gets hot and moist. And just rub some of this adhesion promoter on there. And then, yeah, this thing stinks. Tuck that back in there. Try not to get too much of a contact high from this thing. And then this should dry in just a few seconds so that we can stick it on. I will tuck that in later. Take my glove off. Quickly peel off this red tape. This is always the trickiest part, I think, of these kind of installs. And a 3. All right, again, kind of foolproof. You can't really screw this up. You literally just match it up with the existing icon. It's identical. There's a little space, so this can sit right on top of it. So we're just going to smush it on and apply some pressure. Don't hit your head on the corner of your Cybertruck. I have done that before when I first got my Cybertruck, and it didn't puncture my skin, luckily. But this thing can be awfully sharp. So be mindful of your surroundings when you're putting this thing on. And I think that's about it. There we go. Gonna push it while I've lifted it up as well. And there you go. If you want carbon fiber in your Cybertruck, where else would you want to put it besides your frunk, I guess, on this little cap cover. So again, kind of silly, but if you're gonna have carbon fiber, you might as well go all out carbon fiber, right? All right, let's move on to something more fun with the real stuff and head inside the Cybertruck. We are in the Cybertruck. Since this cover needs to basically sit on top of my existing one, this is actually an opportune time since I'm going to be replacing this old rear view digital mirror. So you will have to take off your digital mirror if you've upgraded, or you need to take off your original mirror if you have that. So I recommend picking up one of these very long, I think it's a T20 screwdriver, because getting in there can be very tricky. I put my front facing part of the digital mirror onto the plastic. So that has to come off as well. So I need to do a little dismantling here and then we'll continue. Okay, if you happen to have a digital mirror, this front facing camera was adhered to the plastic, popped right off, just needed some leverage, no damage, no residue. So hand show, good job on the adhesive there. So I'm basically just going to remove my front facing camera. I wasn't using it anyways for this digital mirror. And now I can put this all back since you do not have to take this down. Although it might be easier if I did. Wait, I need I need this to go. I need the cables from the mirror to go through this hole. So I do need to take this further apart. This wouldn't be very difficult if I had my original mirror since it doesn't use any wires. There's no cables or wires going out. I think it may have had like a little securing wire. So yeah, I got to take more of this digital mirror apart for the wiring so I can stick that through this cap. So be right back again. All right, I decided since this new digital mirror arrives in less than a week, I'm just gonna remove the whole thing. I don't have to worry about putting it all back together, taking it out in less than a week. So I just took the whole thing off. Let's move back up front where there's a little bit more light and it's easier to film, and I'll apply this cover more easily. Again, you do not have to remove yours to do this install. I was just basically halfway there and figured, you know what, I might as well just take this out, get some better footage. This carbon fiber, if you look at it in the sunlight, absolutely gorgeous. I love, 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 love this glossy carbon fiber. And yeah, I have been smart enough to pre-peel most of this off, so it'll be even easier to apply in just a second. But just like before, we're gonna get this adhesion promoter. Gonna get my glove on because this stuff is gross and it's pretty much everywhere. So I would definitely recommend this adhesion promoter on this part. I don't always, but this one especially, since this thing is in the sunlight, it gets very hot in there and you do not want this to just start to droop and fall off over time. I am going to be very mindful of the camera. I do not want to put any of this stuff on or near that camera. I'm going to put a little bit here above, and I think that's it for that side. As for the edges, looks like we've got some adhesive along these sides. So I'm just going to apply a quick stroke of that. You can see it drying already. And just looking at where this adhesive is going to land, I think we are good. Maybe a little bit more right there. And what I love about what they've done with this carbon fiber is notice the cutout here. It is not a circle. It is this sort of rectangle shape. So even though we've got a camera here, there's actually some hidden sensors that you cannot see with the naked eye that's inside of this. And those sensors are used for your FSD. So if you cover those up and just had a circle, your FSD is not going to work properly. So they have made the cutout for this to be perfect, and it's not going to cover that up. So while that's drying, I'm going to finish peeling off this red strips, and then just like before, we'll stick it on. This might actually be maybe the way to go, since obviously applying this outside and not upside down in the truck, maybe that's the way to go. But I'd say try it. Dry fit this tube maybe while you're doing it, kind of get the hang of it. I think we're gonna just start at the top here and be careful not to just push it on, because we want this to line up with this hexagon shape perfectly. And around. There we go. That is great. Yeah, maybe take it off if you're struggling doing it inside the truck. This is easy. I can get lots of angles. I can push on it. Might be the way to go. You just had 3 connectors here. I just got a little prying tool, a little almost not quite a needle. It's kind of a dulled. I'll show you the tool later maybe, but just poking to release the cables here. That made it very easy. And this tape you're not going to see in yours. That's where I had my digital mirror taped on. So I'm just going to give this baby a nice good squeeze everywhere I can. So that adhesive is on there nice and good. Give it some good presses and squeezes. This is going to look so good with the rest of it. And so far, very, very pleased with the rest of the carbon fiber. If anybody's wondering, it cleans very easily. It just wipes down. I haven't had any issues with like scratches being an issue with the carbon fiber at all. So I don't anticipate this is going to be any different. I don't want to push too hard on. I don't know what's inside this thing here. But yeah, if you were doing this in the Cybertruck, you'd just be pushing on it. I feel like you can really get in there if you just take this off. And I will show you how to put this back on. Maybe that will encourage you that you can do it too. So there we go. I'd say that's a successful install. I just need to do this cabling. So let's go back inside. All right, to put this back on, literally just matching up the colors. Let's start with this pink one. That pops in. And then this little red thing kind of raised up. I think I need to depress. Let's see. It kind of slides around. I've never seen a little locking mechanism like this one. Okay, push it on first. There we go. And then push it down. And then the blue one's easy. Slides in there. So if you were to take this apart, I use this this little prying tool here, and it's not too sharp on the end, and you got to poke in these little holes. Just poked, and that helps release. You poke right here for this one. That releases the cables. You don't want to just yank on it. Very careful. Don't want to damage anything if you take this off. But putting them on is even easier to put them back in. Like so. Now this has to be sideways. I think, there we go. So that one rests over there. All right, and then this just swings around, and there's some snaps over here. They snap into these holes over there on each side. So just kind of center it, feel it out. Easy, just snaps right up and on. That leaves us with this one. This is only one cable. Let's just take this one off too. I'm gonna poke this hole, make sure you can see. Little hole with this green one. Give it a little prod. See if that releases it. It didn't. Poke it up. That one's stubborn. There we go. All right, so this one's off. let's go back to the frunk before sundown and finish this install. Okie dokie, we're almost done. What I'm not showing you off camera, peeling that red little protective tape off of the adhesive strips is time consuming, at least for me. If you guys have tips on how to take those things off, please let me know. But I was having a heck of a hard time peeling that off. Alrighty, so this does not go all the way up since part of this sits inside the trim. So we don't need to put this adhesion promoter everywhere. We want to put it from like here down. So it looks like we've got it right above the little warning light, the hazard light, all along this. Oops, so we don't want to go too high. All along this edge here. Oh yeah, that stuff smells kind of good. I just smelled it for a second. I don't see very much. I was like, is this the alcohol pad? No, it is not. It's still very potent, but it dries very quickly. I think it's just basically like that. Got kind of a square down here, all along this edge. Stops right about here. There's 2 strips all along that edge. And yeah, right above the hazard light. So there you go. That should help. Now we're going to apply this. Start from the bottom, not the top, because this needs to line up with this hazard light. Perfect. Push it on. Lots of pressure. And oh, I didn't even realize because my lighting was so bad inside the truck. You can see the letters even though they're not lit up. I usually can't see those when I'm inside the truck. Probably just doesn't have very good light when it's upside down. So this one was only one single cable holding it in, plus it kind of slides underneath the trim. So yeah, I kind of recommend just taking these things off, get them outside where you can kind of manhandle it like I am, get your hands on there, get a good amount of pressure, especially where the adhesive strip is what I'm trying to focus on. All along that side here. Remember there was a strip up here, there was a strip right there. And then all down this side here. And then there was another little rectangular box in this area. So there we go. Absolutely beautiful. I love how that looks just underneath that glossy finish. Alrighty, we are just about done. Let's hook that cable back in and pop it back into place. And this install is finished. All right, I'm going to zoom in a bit for this last part. So I'm just going to reinsert that green connector. Bam. This slides underneath the trim here. Let me tuck in that digital mirror. There we go. It's not supposed to stick out like that. So you want to start by tucking this in. Oh, let me check my cables here. So we've got these 2 little white connectors that are going to pop into place here. I did have my mirror cable that was running along this edge. I removed that, so it's going to be much easier. But yeah, start by sliding it in up there, and then just swing it up into place, like so. Feel it out. We want to feel where those white connectors are. There we go. And then just push. You feel it click. Ah, there's a second one. And there we go. Mwah. Let me get you in close. Oh yeah, that's looking much better. It's gonna match the rest of the truck with the glossy carbon fiber. We've got it on the doors. We've got it in the middle here on the side mirrors. And now we've got this upper area. It's all coming together. So I'm gonna just basically be mirrorless for maybe about a week. Who knows? Maybe I'll get bored this weekend and try and hook up the digital mirror again. But kind of a pain to get in there, wire things up. But this looks absolutely fantastic. And again, you've got some infrared sensors and other sensors that are around this area. So if you're shopping online, I noticed on Tesery's website, this, ooh, the lighting's bad. This cutout, I think it showed a circle here instead of this sort of rectangular shape. But it is in fact the correct shape. It does not cover up the two sensors on flanking that mirror. So, or flanking that camera. So that's what it looks like finished. Beautiful. Love it. I recommend if you are into the carbon fiber like I am. And again, both of these come in a glossy or a matte finish, whichever one you prefer. Alrighty guys, that does it for this install. Again, pretty easy, but you got to peel that red tape off. That's probably the hardest part about this install. If you can get through that, you can do it then. It's just peel and stick. I think this looks fantastic. That adhesive should hold. Nothing has come off that I've used that adhesive with, especially with the adhesive promoter. Yeah, it actually makes it easier to see where these controls are when you want to use them. So can definitely recommend these. If you're into the carbon fiber like I am, you're gonna love it. As always, link in the description below. And again, just use REDNAVE for Tesery. That's gonna save you 5% with them. Anything on their website, they've got Cybertruck, Model Y, the 3, the S, X, any sort of Tesla is on Tesery's website. So thanks for stopping by, and I will see you very soon in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.